7 Days to Sunny June, Book 1 by Sin Akura. December 21st, at the closing of the year. The stereo pounded out some mushroom jazz on a snowy Saturday afternoon as the custom pink Subaru BRZ sliced its way through the wintry weather on the way to its destination. Inside the car, its two occupants were just enjoying the music and the nice chat. Well, one of them was enjoying the music. The sunset could say anything negative about Cadence. It was the woman's preference for a house with down tempo was not anything they particularly shared. But since Sunset liked the older girl and was trying to be a better person, she thought she listened along. So she still couldn't figure out why jazz-inflected house track was named Bossa Nova. Finally, as they got off the westbound State Highway 299, turned right into the small town of Everfree Glades, Sunset shifted in her chair slightly commented, "You know, I always wondered why the local forest was called the Everfree. Especially since it seems I have no idea why the forest back on Equestria is called that either." Cage chuckled. "Yeah, to be honest, I didn't really get it either until a grade school field trip to the national park portion of the forest. If I remember correctly, the park ranger said it's a corruption of an old Indian word, maybe Northern Yana, meaning forest of darkness, because at one time the forest used to be wall-to-wall sequoias that blocked out the light. Like the Amazon or Black Forest in Germany? Something like that. Anyway, eventually settlers came into the area during the gold rush, and a huge swath of the Everfree was cut down for both timber and mining. The settlers originally named the town Poverty Flats, but after the railroad barons complained, the townsfolk named the city Camelot after the old British stories. Then horse ranching became big in the area after the turn of the century, and the town changed its name to Camelot, just to be funny. And even though the ranches moved eastwards out to Ponyville over the next few decades, Camelot's kept its name ever since. She grinned at him. That's your pointless lesson of the day. Certainly better than reading it out of a textbook. Thank you for that background information, Cadence. Hey, I don't mind reading, she said. That much was true. Now she was focusing on her grades once more, she had discovered the level of learning she had as a unicorn. Though she still couldn't hold a candle to Twilight's academic focus. I wonder if the princess is like that too. Well, I'm not going to pick on you about your grades, but Kate gave her a sisterly look. Or you're going to have to spend some time in summer school unless you pick up the pace, she gently scolded. Sunset groaned. Ugh! Yeah, I know. I need to keep hitting the books. She sighed. Previously, she didn't care about all this stuff. It didn't seem to faze her. But now that she did, it was constantly biting her in the ass. And speaking of books, she said, deliberately changing the subject, are you sure that getting Twilight books is a good Christmas gift? Cadence nodded. Look, there's books, then there's books. You've been in her room. She's got a pretty sizable old book collection that some libraries and museums would drool over. The teen grinned. Yeah, kind of weird hobby for a girl her age. Well, I've known Twilight and Toffee since they were toddlers, and in Twilight's case, she gets bored in classes easily, since she's got some weird Asperger's-like skill for learning. I do know that the only reasons her parents haven't sent her straight to college, despite her Mensa superbrain, is because she needs to be around kids her age. If it wasn't for Tavi, Twilight would probably have much worse socialization skills than she already does, Kane said. But anyway, I promise she'll absolutely love it if you get her an old book. She loves reading any and everything under the sun. It'll get much more use than, say, a $50 gift certificate to Amazon. Okay, if you're sure, Sunset replied, as Keyes pulled up an old brownstone building just past the intersection of Equestria County Parkway and Main Street. Well, here we are, books and sewing machines, Keynes announced. Sunset blinked at the store's name. Books and sewing machines? Yeah, Keynes confirmed as he got out of the car. Originally, this used to be just an antique book dealer, but Mr. Bookbinder's wife started a side business selling antique sewing machines, since people tend to use them as display pieces in their homes, she said. Besides, if you ask me, I think they're both like the pure absurdity of the name. With that, the pair went in, and standing at a corner by the front door was a man in a tweed jacket, and looking now like something out of a 1950s sitcom about an unfamiliar father figure. The old man also wore a pair of brown eyeglasses, an out-fastened tie, and a little smoking pipe in his house. Oh, hello, Mr. Bookbinder, Cadence agreed. "Oh, hello to you, Miss Cadenza," he said with a smile. "Here's a song for Twilight. Oh, and who is this young miss?" "This is Sunset Shimmer. She's staying with Twilight's family." Bookbinder grinned, his graying moustache twisting up slightly to accommodate his strictness. "Ah, such a beautiful young miss. You would have been a diva amongst divas in a Renaissance, I believe. Well, should you find anything you like, please let me know." "Do you still have that first edition of Wuthering Heights?" Keynes asked the gentleman. "I'm sorry, but that sold last week. I do, however, have a newly arrived first edition copy of North Ranger Abbey. See if you care to see it," he told her, heading back to a nearby counter. As the two talked, Sunset slipped into rows of musty-aged tomes, walking amongst dozens and dozens of books and the occasional century-old sewing machine. The building turned out to be much larger than expected. The facade had merely been a building whose back had been knocked down and extended to fit the sizable one behind it. After moving through countless shelves of books, stopping to look at several here and there, she eventually came across a row of ornately bound and beautiful books, their leather covers indicating that they were very old. In comparison to modern books, these looked more like they had been at home in the Royal Carolina Library back in Equestria, even though it wasn't a true feel of the past. So they couldn't help but smile at the long ago happier time. Finally, one with a black cover and silver and gold ink caught her attention, and after slipping on the latex gloves that were required as per an decent sign, she removed it from the shelf, perusing the cover. La Tragedia di Baldassare di Cavalcanti, a history of Italy's dark sorcerer, she said, reading it out loud. I wonder what it's about. Carefully opening the book, she read the introduction, which was a summary on the subject's life. A 16th-century Italian mystic, Baldassare di Cavalcanti, a contemporary of the famed English occultist and alchemist, John D. N. was said to have been known Giorgio Bruno, a famous Italian heretical priest. Baldassare claimed to have learned the skills of alchemy, hermeticism, occultism, and sorcery from a black unicorn that came to him through a bedroom mirror. He earned riches and prestige serving under the Medici family during the eras of the Florentine Republic and the Grand Duchy of Tuscany. Eventually, he was found guilty by the Catholic Inquisition of witchcraft, heresy, and the murder of his wife, Crisald, back in 1551. He was put to death in 1603. Oh, that book! A voice filled with disdain said behind her, startled nearly to the point she almost dropped the aged tome. She turned to see Bookbinder standing there, adjusting his glasses with a slight scowl on his face. "Forgive me, miss, you might not be aware. That book is a mimic. It's a term amongst bibliophiles for a book that's a fraudulent copy of a genuine one." Slipping on the gloves, he took the copy in hand and said, "See the slightly white pieces and how crisp the pageantting is? A true book printed in 1890 would have yellow pages with ragged edges, both because of age and how they were bound back then. The only reason we keep this book around is because it's an authentic translation of the original 1868 Italian book, which we do have if you're interested." "Well, I'm not," Sunset told him, "but Twilight might be." The old man's face scratched at thought. "And Miss Sparkle is a very good customer of mine. Tell you what, miss, I'll offer you both books for 200. Normally I charge 400 alone for the original Italian, but you're likely just a high school student, and as times change, you probably don't have much means. Besides," he said with a craneful grin, "you'll be taking a mimic off my hands. In this business, having one around can be disastrous for one's reputation." "Really?" Sunset asked. When the bookstore nodded, she screamed in joy, "That case sold!" The girls were at the Carolina International Airport Terminal 4, embracing Pinky as she was ready to head off to her flight to Northwest Arkansas Regional Airport. "So," the cotton candy tornado said, "it's a quick flight from CJP to BOI, and then from here to ICNA. I'll be ETA at XNA PDQ. Twilight, please tell me you can translate that into English." Rainbow pled. Twilight laughed. "Sorry, Rainbow. I may be well learned, but I'm not a miracle maker." As the girls embraced their friend one by one, they all gave her the Christmas gifts they gotten her. She had already given them theirs. Finally, Sunset approached Pinky and hugged her. You know, I'm gonna miss you. Aww, but Sunny, I'll only be gone for just a week, Pinky insisted. Yeah, I know. She gave her the gift she got from Pinky. It was a cute pair of balloon earrings that she and Rarity had seen over the mall the other day. Rarity thought they were perfect for the bouncy teen. Sunset agreed, grabbing immediately to go get her for a friend. Now, you can't open this until Christmas. Aww. But you can open this, she said, handing her a second box. Oh, good! Pinky opened immediately, her eyes went wide as saucers. Hugging Sunset, she chirped with glee. This will keep me busy during the flight. Upside spy was in the bouncy girl's hand. It said aloud with despair. Oh, Sonny, you did not just... Oh, my, she said, catching the box as well. And our girls did then, reacting to varied responses. A muffled voice echoed through the terminal. Pinky suddenly said, "Woo, that's me, gotta go!" Pausing just to give her friends kisses on the cheek, she went to hug her aunt and uncle, who were also there, though they hadn't seen what Sunset had brought Pinky. And then grabbing her bag, made her way to the security checkpoint, pausing every 10 steps to wave goodbye to her friends and family. Twilight looked at Sunset with disappointment. Really, Sandy? I'll tell you this, Facepalm. I cannot believe you actually bought her a huge box of mild bond chocolate frosted sugar bombs. The candy was known for its huge triple chocolate coated goodness, and each piece was at least 100 calories, not to mention the pure sugar shock they caused. Sunset grinned. Oh, come on, girls. You should know better than that. It's real science and psychology wrapped in a pink-haired packets. Cut didn't know whether to be irritated or bemused by Sunset's lawsuits. You just put my hyperactive niece in a tin can with dozens of innocent, Sunset. I do hope you're prepared for the aftermath. Sure I am. She'll eat the whole thing the minute she sets down, and the pure sugar shock should burn through her system before she even gets up to cruising altitude. By the time the sugar crash sets in, she should be asleep during the whole flight to Boise. Plus, even Pinky has a limit to how much sugar she ingests. Which means from Boise to North Arkansas, she'll be just as safe from anything over that flight. A thoughtful look came onto Carrot's face. He gave his employee a smile. Guess I'll have to give you a Christmas bonus, won't I? Well, I guess we better get back before the traffic gets too heavy, Butterside suggested. Besides, we'll all be here tomorrow for Tally's flight, right? The girl sighed. With Pinky in Arkansas and Octavie visiting her grandparents at West Egg up in the Hamptons, they would be down two of the Amazing Eight. It's Pinky tended to call their group for the week. Still, as the majority of them were spending the Christmas holiday with their families, there would be likely minimal interaction with their group this week. Though, with the exception of Pinky, who would still be at her parents' place, they all agreed that attending the New Year's Eve Team Bass, being sponsored by the county, was a must-attend event. Can I just pause here? I mean, I know we're 6 chapters in, but can I just say something about this fic? I know later on we're going to get some cool magic and some in-depth intrigue and spies and all that. There's going to be some really awesome stuff later on. But I want to say right now, the slice of life parts are so well done, so engaging, and the characters so well written. I would gladly just spend every June just reading these stories without a single bit of adventure. That's how good this slice of life part is. The ride back home was strangely subdued that night, with Sunset being the quietest among them. While Fluttershy and Rarity chatted briefly about a show they were watching on TV, the Applejack and Rainbow, in the driver's passenger seats respectively, were arguing about what to listen to on the radio for the trip back. Sunset, ITV, and Twilight were commiserating. I really do not want to go tomorrow. It's my parents are insisting, ITV huffed, and I already know what it's going to be like. A week of my grandparents showing us around the ultra-rich Hamptons, wondering why we're slumming in a San Memo with Mom and Dad, are always on the road, instead of playing for the Elite Symphony like the New York Philharmonic, like my Aunt Hanson does, or running a major classical record company like my Aunt Rondu does in Nashville. And then the conversation will eventually turn to me and why I'm not as gifted as my cousins, Octavia Philharmonica. Sunset looked at Octavia idly. 3 of you with the same last name? The dark-haired girl nodded. Yes, it started when Aunt Rondeau met her sisters to have a daughter who got the right name, Octavia, which has been in my family for generations. So imagine the surprise when all three of them got pregnant at the same time, and all three of us cousins were born within minutes of each other. By the time they found out who was first born, we all had the name on our birth certificates. But how did they tell you apart? Randy, who overheard, asked. Looking Fluttershy's face was also one of interest. Mostly by insults and slights, Octavia replied sadly. It gets worse when you realize we all look pretty similar, though we play different instruments. Octavia, she insists by going just by Octavia, plays the cello, while my other cousin plays the violin and fiddle, picking up the nickname Fiddlesticks somewhere along the way. Hell, when my grandmother claims she can't tell us apart, it somehow crows about the advancements of the other. When I think she's trying to start rivalry us like she did between my mom, Aunt Thompson, and Aunt Rondell. But while Octavia may care about bragging rights, they find Fiddlesticks and I get along well.
Remind me not to attend one of the family reunions on your mother's side sometime. Twilight said. Well, we try to stay only as long as we have to. But it's usually just a week before Mom, her sisters, and my grandmother start arguing. By the time the drunken shouting starts, Dad's already packed our bags. The look on Fluttershy's face was sympathetic. Happy holidays? Merry Christmas! Sing around the room as the family passed the gifts to one another. Sunset felt warm fuzzies forming her heart. Immediately, she nearly wiped out her bank account getting the gifts, but to her, it was more than worth it for the people she'd grown to love. Seeing Spike go gaga over the PS4 she brought him made the boy almost tolerable for a whole day. For Shiny, she bought a special military-grade web belt. He'd been complaining that the server issue belt he had wasn't sitting well, was to play havoc with his equipment. For Night, she got a new office chair, as he had been complaining from the air compression cylinder on his kept deflating. Velvet's was a gift that was engraved World's Greatest Foster Mom, pen and pencil set with wood trim and gold piping. Though Sunset felt slightly guilty because she didn't know what to get her. Twilight insisted that her mother would love it, and indeed she did. Seeing underneath the tree was still Octavia's gift, as she insisted would make her happy opening it when she got back, since she needs something to relax with. In Kansas, as her family went off on a week-long trip to a cabin in the Rockies, somewhere in Colorado. As for her friends, they already traded gifts the day before. While Twilight and Sunset had yet to open the gifts from their friends, they already knew they would be something to cherish. The look on Twilight's face when she opened her gift was nothing less than utter surprise. Wow, Sonny, this must have set you back a pretty penny. Really, you didn't have to, she said. Then realized the second book was there. She had, and the translation? I don't know what to say. The look on her face showed the teen was genuinely touched. Sonny, you really didn't have to. We're family, right? Sunset said as she embraced her foster sister. You don't have to say anything at all, Twilight. Well, you have to at least open what I got you, Twilight insisted, stepping out of the hug in order to hand a package to Sunset. Sunset unwrapped the gift and her eyes opened wide as she squeaked. Oh my! The Discord limited edition CD box set? Sunset cried, fangirl mode now completely engaging. Oh wow! It even has Trixie's Ways in the center of the labyrinth! The first one's his demo album, and the second one his limited edition EP, sold only as 1997 World Tour! They're impossible to get! The ex-unicorn clunked to Twilight, cooing, Thank you! I really, really love this, and I know Rainbow's going to frequency fights till I have it! Hey, anything for you, Sonny? Twilight said, the two holding each other closely. Sia on the sofa and love seat, Shiny watched as the sister and foster sister squeed around like two typical teens, without a care in the world. You know, Mom, Dad, I look at her and think that she's the best arrest I never made, he said, taking a sip of his eggnog. I think about Sunset, the day I ran into her in Industrial, and what she's like now, almost like two different girls. I believe in miracles, Sonny, Velvet says. He leans to her husband's side. Tia and I have been talking about, we think she's doing well enough. We're dropping our weekly meeting down to just monthly. Besides, now that we started planning for your wedding, if something comes up about Sonny, we'll talk about it at that point. But as of now, she's just a normal, average girl. Sunset, could you run this over to table 2, please? Cupcake asked Sunset 2 days later, while at the Sukaku Corner Cafe. With Pinky gone for the week, Sunset had picked up all her friends' hours, as it was a good way for her to make some extra cash while the school was in winter break. And given that all the other students were out of school as well, the cafe was absolutely bouncing. You got it, Mrs. C, Sunset said, taking both plates and walking towards the table on the far side of the restaurant. But as she approached, she saw two girls there, comforting the other. Comfort D, a girl with striped, lime fuchsia hair and a bobbed hairstyle, looked completely torn emotionally, while the other girl, a blonde with her hair tied in a ponytail, looked like she was planning on bruise someone in the near future. It's okay. You're better off without him, girl. Trust me on that, the latter said to the former. But he said he loved me, the first girl sobbed, her eyes staring red with tears. Blossom, we'll get this squared away, I promise. Sunset set the plates on the table. Okay, who had the pesto chicken Fukuoka and who had the tuna club? I had the pesto, the girl began. It's not fair, damn it! The girl with the two-tone hair suddenly snapped. He said he loved me. It looked like he did. Hey, Blossom, calm down, girl. I promise he won't get away with this. Is everything okay? Sunset asked as the pesto chicken in front of the blonde and the other one in front of the agitated girl. Yeah, the blonde said, trying to be polite, though her body posture and tone indicated that wasn't on her mind. Just, my friend got dumped by her boyfriend on Christmas Day in Kiki. Oh, damn it, girls now. The girl named Blossom said, looking as though her world ended. No one's gonna love me once they find out that I'm... You know. The girl says, and too embarrassed to complete her sentence. You are not, so stop saying that, Kiki told her. Sunset turned to look briefly at her boss, and Miss Kink gave a subtle nod. And I was wondering why she didn't just bring the things over herself. Smart move, Mrs. C. She thought as she sat down. Sounds like everything's not okay. You think? The sore-haired girl snarled. I was with my boyfriend for 2 years, and finally decided we'd take that next step. I can see where this is going, Sunset thought to herself. She remembered the one time she had sex with Flash without any protection, and while he panicked, he had been worried at the time because she thought that the spell had changed her only on the outside. But now that she knew she was effectively completely human while on Earth, she forced herself from stuttering. The other girl didn't need that right now. Look, miss, Sunset said carefully, you thought you loved him enough to share a special moment with him. Probably the most special moment a woman will ever share with the person she loves. And he hurt you afterwards, no doubt on that. But that is in no way your fault. See, that's what I've been trying to tell her, Kiki said. Singular as he said, yeah, well, my manners are shit. I'm Cloud Kicker. This is my best friend, Fossiforth. We go to County High, she said, offering a hand. Sunset simmer. I go to Caroline High. Nice to meet you two. Thanks, Fossiforth said, looking very fragile. Cloud Kicker? You mean Cloud Kicker of the infamous trying to deal with Rainbow Dash fix? That one? Interesting. 5 years on this show. Or 6. We never had Cloud Kicker show up. Pleased to meet you, girl. Look, maybe it's none of my business, Sunset said, but you are a pretty girl. You have a whole future ahead of you. Don't let one guy dictate who you are or who you can be. Because once you do that, you'll start going down a path you don't want to go. Trust me on that, Fossiforth, it's not worth it. You sound like someone who's been there, she said. Yeah, more times than I care to admit, she replied sadly. Far, far more. Hours later, Sunset sat in the bounding cold of the outside as the snow fell. She spent the time outdoors looking through a telescope the family had. Many of the stars and the constellations and asterisks above looked familiar, and yet at the same time radically different. Theirs are so minor, but in Equestria that's an animal, not a constellation. Likewise, the Pegasus Archer is one of our most familiar constellations. I don't see anything even remotely like that in the sky above. Is this really another dimension? Or is the mirror like some giant teleportation field? Is Equestria in another universe, or is it another world? one of those stars out there be Equestria's son? If that's the case, she could get me at any time. I'm not safe at all. A shudder ran through Sunset's body as a realization poured ice through her mind, and a realization that the princess could reach out from beyond the black veil of the starscape to end her life made her more terrified she could ever say. No matter what, I deserve whatever I get. May have changed, but you have to do the time for the crime, as they say here. Sonny? Sunset turned to see Twilight out there, 2 mugs of steaming hot chocolate. The former unicorn could pick up the aroma from where her foster sister stood. What are you doing out here? I just need to be alone for a bit, she said, brushing the snow off herself. Then a spot on the bed next to her. Twilight sat down and Sunset asked, Twilight, am I a monster? No, why would... I know you talk with the girls. They had to have told you the kind of person I was before the homecoming dance. She said, I was a bitch, Twilight. I was an absolutely fucking monster. I pissed all over Rarity's chances to be chosen as homecoming queen. I bullied Flyers because she couldn't stand up for herself. I repeatedly stole Pinky's lunch just because I could. I belittled AJ because of her accent, and because Rainbow Hispanic, I made a lot of racial slurs. And these are the girls that eventually forgave me and became my friends. She sat there, silence of snow fell on her, melting against her skin and blending, maybe hiding tear trails. And I've done so much more, Twilight. Derpy Hooves? Nice girl, part of the tech club. Cute as a button. But she's got strabismus. Guess what I picked on her for? Final scratch. I know she comes from a broken home, and I just fucked with her mercilessly because her parents had a very face and nasty divorce. The kind of everyone in town hears about. Bonbon and Lyra? Do you know how much I insulted them because they're a lesbian couple? Don't even matter to me. Still doesn't. But I did it because I could. Trixie Lilymoon? I know that her braggart hides a very insecure personality. She's probably seeing a therapist because of what I did. Sunset went on and threw her dozens of names of people Twilight didn't even know. A horrific litany of Sunset's crimes. And for almost 4 years, I enjoyed every fucking moment of it. A grand guignol of my own entertainment, because I didn't care. Bullying Daisy Flower Wishes because I thought she was a historic cunt, did it. Had no idea, nor did I care she was going through problems at home. Made fun of Starbright because she wanted to be bottle thin, happily did so, without giving a damn that she probably had anorexia issues. I could go on and on, but you get the point. Sunset looked at Twilight, her turquoise eyes wondering if she finally had her foster sister's referrals in point. Then Twilight would just pour a hot chocolate on her and never have anything to do with her again. Here, Twilight said, shoving one of the mugs into Sunset's hands. You'll freeze your blood off otherwise. She then looked at Sunset. What brought this on? I met a girl today. She had been with her boyfriend for 2 years. Finally decided to sleep with him. He dumped her on Christmas Day. Got her friend all riled up and worried sick. This first girl, I was almost afraid was approaching suicidal. Watching her go through the hell that she went through while her friend and I tried to convince her he wasn't worth all that pain made me wonder exactly how much pain I put my earth through. Even my closest friends who have forgiven me, they may have, but I'm not sure I'll ever forgive myself. And why are you telling me this? Because Since I took a drink of hot cocoa, feeling his warmth slide down her gullet, giving her the boost for what she was about to say. My friends, they're wonderful. But you and Tavi, your parents and your brothers, Katie, you're the family I never had. And I'm treating my friends like shit. I'm horrified that I may turn on you all someday. Because that's what monsters do. I see. Well, I said, falling silent as the two sat there in the snow. The pair was quiet for a few more minutes before Twilight spoke again. Sonny, you're not a monster. Twilight, The purple carrot held a hand up. Please, let me finish. You're not a monster. Maybe you were in the past. Nothing can be done about what came before. All we could do is just keep moving on. I was a lot more insecure and awkward before I met you and the others, but y'all helped me get through that. I'm not the same girl I was a couple months ago, and neither are you. You keep trying to push us away and keep us at a certain distance, Sonny. Don't think that we haven't noticed. But none of us think you're doing it because you don't care. Actually, if you ask me, I think you're doing it because you do. It's a Hedgehog's dilemma. You want to come closer, but you're afraid to do so because you're afraid you'll hurt the ones you love. Sunset shook her hand. I've done it before, Twilight. I had a mother figure years ago. A wonderful mentor. A teacher who I think wanted to adopt me. And I threw everything in her face. She loved me so much, and I loved her as well. And all I could do was just throw everything she ever taught me in her face and run away. I haven't stopped writing since. Twilight nodded in response before asking, Do you remember that fight we had last month? I'd rather forget it, truth be told. Twilight shook her head. Not me. You cared enough to fight with me, Sonny. Not to belittle or bully me or anything like that. Because you care about me enough, you realize that however angry I may be with your opinion, and I still think you're off based on that, I'm not angry with you. Because we're family. And sisters. That's how family is.
You keep saying that, but how can you think of me like that? A soft grin came onto Twilight's face. Because it's natural when it comes to you. It's like we're two sides of the same coin. Taffy and I, we grew up together. But that doesn't mean we're completely different minds. Same thing with Shiny, Spike, and even Katie. But with you, Mom says that she and her sister, my Aunt Twilight Glitter, are sisters not just because of blood, but because they're naturally two sides of a coin. It's like you and I were born to be a counterpoint to one another. I don't know, and I don't care what was in your past, Sonny. I didn't know that Sunset Simmer, and frankly, I don't want to. But the Sunset Simmer I know now would probably do any and everything in her power to make sure I was never hurt. I know that. I can feel it in my bones. And I'm putting that trust in you. Because we're family. Because maybe fate decided that Twilight Sparkle and Sunset Simmer were meant to be linked. Heck, even our names basically mean the same thing. Really, I never noticed. Of course, the princess pointed out as well. Didn't give a shit back then. Yes, you did. You just didn't really want to. Because you were afraid. Hedgehog dilemma, once again. You keep bringing that up a lot. Of course, I'm an academic. Sunset grinned. You know, you're not the only one with a brain in the house, Twilight. For the record, I do read quite a bit. Okay, then why are your grades so abysmal? Because I really didn't give a shit, or have anyone to give a shit for me. But between you and everyone in the family, what choice do I have? Besides, I really don't want to embarrass Mom or Dad. Twilight crossed her arms. Did you just call my parents Mom and Dad? Well, Sunset's eyes went wide. Twilight pointed her finger. Aha! Told you you care! States of red creeped on Sunset's cheeks. Figure speech. Ooh, wait till I tell my parents. They'll go, oh, you never hear the end of it, Twilight teased. Sunset merely rolled her eyes. Well, I think we've wasted enough time out here. Twilight stood up and offered her foster sister her hand. So, going to sit out here and continue to sulk? Or do we want to waste some time on Netflix? Sunset smiled. Netflix sounds good. The first thing Twilight Velvet and Nightlight noticed when they went downstairs the following morning was that unfortunately it did not snow enough for work to be canceled, and the plows had cleared the streets and poured de-icing salts. Darn you, snowplow! The second thing they noticed was a nice enough day that most people would likely call it sick, or being late that they had enough time to head to a dinner and have a nice breakfast together. The third thing they noticed was the scent of food wafting upstairs, which was weird, because Spike wouldn't fix it himself anything to save his life. Twilight tended not to get up on the early days she didn't have to go to school, and Sunset was a notoriously late sleeper. Not to mention, all three kids weren't that great in the kitchen. While Spike had picked up a few tricks, neither Twilight nor Sunset were inclined towards cooking in the slightest. Is that burrito I smell? And spinach and mushroom, too, Velvet added. Should we be worried about someone broken into the house? What kind of burglar cooks breakfast? Ned replied as both of them walked to the kitchen. There. They were surprised to see Sunset placing down two plates of what looked like an omelet and hash browns, alongside toast, coffee, and orange juice. Seeing that it was Sunset. Sunset! Up before 11 in the morning, both of them looked at her surprised. Morning, Sunset said. happily spilling what looked like to be a holiday sauce onto the omelets. Hope you had time for breakfast before you go out that door. She paused, giving kisses on her cheeks to both Velvet and Knightley, and said, Go ahead and start. I'll go wake Twilight and Spike out to see if they want to eat right now. If not, she sighed, I'm sure I could make something for them later. Both Velvet and Knight blinked. Twice. Thrice. So once Sunset head upstairs, Velvet asked in an early professed voice, Outer Limits or Twilight Zone? I'm willing to guess LSD trip, personally, Knight answered, equally stunned. But I never did drugs in my life. Can I keep this? One boy asked another as he held the phone. The second boy grinned. Yeah, that's why I gave it to you, dude. Third boy looked demons in the form. Wow, and I always thought she was kind of mousy. No idea she looked like a porn star. You sure this is legit and not some Photoshop bullshit? The second boy looked at the first. Join the club and find out. The second boy pressed the button on his phone and brought him another image. Now I'm sure this image looks familiar. Holy fuck, is that? Yeah, fuck it is. How did you get that? The third boy asked. Connections, the second one said as he turned out the phone. When you joined the club, membership has its privileges, he said, offending a voice, Blair's voice. But the deal is that we trade. We got some good ones, and from all over the place, not just counted on high. How good are we talking? To answer that, the boy tapped a couple more responses to his phone and brought up a new picture. Fleur-de-lis, 18, senior secretary, already doing modeling. That enough for you? A fourth boy spoke up. There's gotta be some bullshit. For one, I know that girl. I wouldn't do anything like that. Secondly, her boyfriend, Fancy something or other, he's still council vice president over a monk in there. You really think he... Let's just say we got through other means. A fifth boy spoke. Also, let's say we have a few close choice others. Interested? Wow, they really decorated the place. Twilight said with glee as they stepped to the community center. You got that right, Sugar Q. Applejack added. Meanwhile, behind them was Sunset, practically dancing and not caring who was watching, wearing her headphones. She knew she looked ridiculous, but for the moment she really didn't give a damn. It was New Year's Eve, and the county's Department of Parks and Recreation sponsored a New Year's Eve team bash for all the schools in the area. It was a chance for Sunset and her friends to dance together and have fun. Maybe mingle with a few of the students for the other public and private schools in the county. Except, of course, for those standing to blanks. As she slipped off her jacket, she handed it out to Twilight, who was trying not to laugh. Behind her, however, were Rarity and Octavia, who did. It's a shame Pinky thought he had to see this, the Fascinatus said between twitters. I'm sure she absolutely enjoyed this. Come on, Leslie, just let her be. The raven-haired musician replied. It's good to see her smile. Oh, absolutely, Fireside said as he walked in. She borrowed a dress from her mother and looked utterly sultry in it, if it wasn't for the perpetually innocent look on her face. Lastly came in Rainbow, took one look at Sunset as she grabbed Octavia's hand and started dancing to non-existent music. The rainbow-haired athlete collapsed on the ground, laughing her ass off. Finally, Octavia stopped and pulled the earbuds from her friend's ears. Hey, would you mind leaving the interplanetary good song vibe for a second? Sunset blush. Okay, you're right. I like this song. Happy? Astonished. I told you some of our favorite CD classes worth listening if you find the right gems. There, darlings, Rarity said, looking at her friends. Shall we stop mingling? Hey, let's wait until some people show up, Rares, Sunset said. The one like we're the only girl in here besides the DJ. She said, pointing to Violet Scratch, who was setting up. Oh, hey, Violet. Need some help? Violet turned around to see Flash Sentry standing there. Somehow, she wasn't surprised. She heard some rumors that since he and Sunset Simmer had broken up earlier in the year, and he was on a tail trail. While she wasn't sure of that, she did know that he'd become somewhat of an asshole as of late, denting his earlier saintly image. It was ironic, considering that Mr. Night Guy had lost his halo right around that time that his former girlfriend, the now deposed Queen Bee of the school, had repeatedly found hers. Nah, thanks, she said quietly, and nodded. Maybe I'm wrong about... Hey, has anyone ever tell you you're cute? He asked. Well, that didn't take long, he thought, rolling her eyes behind the safety of her shades. Lifting us so their eyes could meet, she said, Look, Flash, I'll make it clear. I'm into girls. I'm sure you're a nice guy and all, but sorry, not interested. My bad, he said, shrugging. But my statement still stands. So does my offer to help. Well, okay then, she said, dropping her shades back in place. In that case, can you move my disc crates over here, underneath the deck? Yeah, sure thing. He said as he went to the crates, noticed the cardboard sleeves. Well, you still use old-fashioned albums? She nodded. Hell yeah! Electronic scratching does sound fake to me. I'm not entirely analog. I make sure I got my breaks, beats, and scratches entirely for the decks. Sampling and stuff. Yeah, can't avoid a computer. But anyone who can rock a turntable prefers to use a digital control surface? Sad, just sad. She gave him a knowing smile. Yeah, I just like my scratches to be natural, you know? Hey, you're the expert at this stuff. I'm the guitar kind of guy. He spent a few more minutes helping her get set up before his eyes started wandering, watching as his ex-girlfriend came in. He and Sunset had some times together. Couldn't exactly call them fun or good per se, but she had a cute body, is more than willing, so they matched. Unfortunately, she turned out to be a high-maintenance bitch, so luckily he was glad to be rid of her. As for her friends, well, they're surprised she had any. He thought she somehow magically pissed off the entire school. But then there was the two that were with them that did not look familiar at all, and the girl with the purple hair. There was something definitely familiar about her, though he could not quite put his finger exactly what it was. Hey, Final, you know who those two are? The ones that came in with Sunset? Sure, that's Rarity, Applejack, Rainbow Dash, and Fluttershy. As for yours, not a clue. But they're kind of cute, like you ask. The girl with the purple straight hair. I swear I've seen her before. I'm racking my brain trying to remember. It's not coming to mind. But she does seem really familiar for some reason. Well, I might not have a clue, but you might want to ask Sweet Scoops. She's on the school newspaper, so she knows practically everyone in school, and more than a few outside as well. Yeah, will do, thanks, he said as he departed. No problem, Final called back Fry. Oh, hey, and that girl with the black hair sleeves, by the way, get her number from me, okay? She's got a real cute ass. Scoops pressed a lock of her magenta and orange hair out of her face. Wait, they're here with your ex, and you don't know who they are, really? Flash sighed. Look, Sunset and I didn't really have a conversational kind of relationship. You guess my drift. Gotcha. Fortunately for you, I do know who she is. Really? Yeah, but the answer's probably gonna slap you in the face, she told him, a slight smile coming into her countenance. He rolled her eyes. Don't leave me hanging, Scoops. Well, Mac and I have been dating for years, and Mac's sister Stacey is friends with Sunset. And if I've heard AT right, the purple-haired girl is Sunset's sister, Twilight Sparkle. And the young one's their cousin, Octavian Melody. They both attend Zachary, if I recall. He blinked. Wait, Sunset's got a sister? She told me she was an only child. Well, they don't look alike, so maybe one of them's adopted, Scoops said, shrugging. Anyway, not my issue. Why'd you ask? An all too real look came over his face. Well, I'm thinking that. She narrowed her eyes. Okay, stop right there, Sentry. I don't want you involved with this. If you have to tell someone, I suggest you tell Orange Box. Her father owes a funeral parlor, and you get a discount on a coffin. Because I guarantee you, if you're going to try something with your ex-girlfriend's sister, you're as good as dead. Hey, I think I might have a chance, he told her. She goes to Zachary, and her sister, your ex-girlfriend, in case you managed to forget, is currently a dormant volcano that'll likely explode all over your exposed posterior once he finds out. What part of "do not mess with this" do you not understand? The quotation marks? Thanks for the confidence vote, he muttered. Hey, your funeral. Now, if you excuse me, I should probably go say hi to my boyfriend and his sister. Don't worry, I'll keep your suicidal plan a secret. I see you're like with the ladies as thoroughly as always, Flash. A voice from behind him. Flash tried to see a boy slightly older than him. Could be described as a refugee from a shonen anime. Fair and drawn to his face, slight build, eyes as blue as the summer sky, flowing blonde hair tied back in a ponytail. He wore a white blazer, gray pale sweater, shirt, black tie, pale gray slacks, black shoes. All of which looked to be ludicrously expensive, likely from overpriced Italian designer. Well, hello, Blue, Flash said, looking at the newcomer. Icely buttered to make a little grail was. Blue Light gave a smile. Well, normally I wouldn't. But, dear cousin, seeing as that you and I are on friendly terms, I would say that your presence bumps up the quality of the room to, shall we say, high potty level, he said that. Yeah, maybe. Seriously, why are you here? Blue Light grunted. Decided to get away from my usual New Year's Eve entertainment and the so-called girlfriend. Me, Sucky South staying. That noise you heard was the drain Sir Polomel's been doing on my wallet every time he goes somewhere. I could afford it immediately, but since she's all tease and no play, I thought I'd come see if there were any diamonds in the rough that could keep me entertained. Something caught his eye. Like the girl with the royal purple lace. She looks like as though she has some class, albeit in that my fair lady sort of manner. Yeah, a friend said her name's Rarity, by the way. Flash said sound really his voice. Phew. For a moment, I thought you were talking about the same girl I was looking at. Long purple hair, magenta, violet shots. She is cute now that you mention it. Well, seeing as you had your eye on her, I'll stay clear. You know who she is. Yeah, she's apparently Sunset's sister. Her name's Sparkle. An interesting look came into Blueblood's face. Interesting. Considering her for the club or personal vendetta. I wasn't thinking your offense against my ex, Flash replied, looking at the girl named Twilight with interest. But I'd say it'd be a fitting repetitive considering how she treated me. As for the club, I think I'd be willing to make a sacrifice for our friends. Besides, considering she's hanging out with the girl you're looking at, I don't doubt they know each other. Well, shall we simply wait until such and such a way to introduce? He swore straight. Great. That witch is over here. Witch? With a nod, look at his face akin to distaste. You see that girl over there with the raven-colored hair? That's Octavia Merrily. She's a tease if you ever met one. Promised me something special, but backed out once I was ready. Rather gauche, considering that I took the time to drive her all the way to make out point outside Horseshoe Bay. Flash sighed. Maybe this calls for a coordinated effort, he said. How would you feel about expanding the ranks a bit? Oh, great. What's he doing here? Octavia said under her breath. Sunset heard her. Unfortunately, the other girls were having such a fun time dancing they hadn't heard. Something wrong, Taffy? Yeah. I thought I just saw the guy I told you I went on a date with, Mr. Grabby Hans. Hey, you're my friends. No way in hell is he touching you or starting anything, Sunset told her. Yeah, I know. Sorry, just fond memories, she explained. Well, don't worry. You're safe with us, Sunset promised. As she looked at Octavia, out of the corner of her eye, she saw Flash. Knowing her irritating ex-boyfriend, that meant something was up. Chances were it wasn't good. As long as it doesn't affect me, no skin on my teeth. Problem is, with my luck, Sunset shook her head. It's going to be a new year in an hour, a new chance at a different future. One Sunset was determined to be a part of with her family. Sonny, just relax. How bad can it get? Can I take the blindfold off? File Scratch asked Flash 2 days later. Because if this is some stupid-ass roofie thing, I swear I'm... No trick, Fido, Flash assured her. Trust me, this is actually for your benefit. Then removed the blindfold. Here we are. Welcome to the club. She found herself in a fairly nicely decorated cottage. Looking out the window, she saw a larger home, a mansion. Likely this was the guest cottage. Seeing around the room were tables, laptops, and phones, a bunch of boys, many of which she knew. Stargazer, Noteworthy, and Caramel for Caroline High, Fox 7, Scallywag for County High. She also recognized a few other guys for the other high schools in the area. San Palamo, Horseshoe Bay, Forest Edge, looking nicer, and even one or two for the blanks. The fact that there were dozens of guys in the room and she was the only girl made her slightly worried. So, you brought us live entertainment this time? A scruffy, ugly knuckle dragger of a boy she knew as Rover asked. He met Caroline High for freshman year before being expelled. Since he continues as a case at the blanks, assuming he did so at all. Don't be so gross, a college preppy-looking guy said. He might have chased him if her ankle laces went in that direction. Either way, something said he was in charge, so she thought she'd take a listen. She's not here to be our first female member. After all, we are an egalitarian group, are we not? You tell, Blueblood. A boy she recognized as Silver Steel. His dad was a recruiter for the army, if you remember correctly. Likewise, Silver Steel was one of those legacy kind of guys, and thus was in the school's JROTC. Okay, so, what's going on? Final asked. We have a slight problem we need taken care of. Flash said, we need a more delicate touch, he told her. Meanwhile, Blueblood went over to a cabinet, revealing a decadent supply of alcohol. Careful drink. You do know we're all underage, right? She asked him. Blueblood rolled his eyes. My parents couldn't care less. Otherwise, I wouldn't be living up here in the guest cottage. Besides, this is San Palermo. Any issue could go away if you know which palms to grease or which policeman's charity is the fun. In that case, vodka and OT, she said with a grin. So, what's the plan of yours? Plus explained in vivid detail. I couldn't believe what she was hearing, but at the same time, the call intriguing was an understatement. It was a virtual guarantee that anyone doing so would definitely get some action at the very least. And you're serious about this? She asked the moment he was finished. We'll give you everything you need, and it's guaranteed to work, Luba said, handing her the drink. You told Floss you thought she was your style. Care to find out? I'll take the drink that the seer just poured for her. If it worked that well, what proof there was her drink hadn't been a spite? I think I'll take a Coke, she said, passing back to the elder teen. Sealed, if you don't mind. Small to go, Blueblood said, passing the cocktail himself. There had been nothing wrong with it. Still interested? She sat down to count, since he did. Thunderling passed her a Coke, one of the old glass bottles. Tell me more, she said, a trick look coming into her face as she removed her shades and pulled a bottle opener out of her pocket.